What's up, friends? It's Sammy here with Digivangelism, and it's so good to be back. If you are new, I was actually making Vlogmas videos throughout December, so I made 25 videos in 25 days. If you're curious, click up here to watch those. But otherwise, it's just good to have those over and be back with our weekly videos. We put these out weekly, Tuesday mornings at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, and today we've got a special one to end 2020 with. Today is our second ever montage video where we combine clips of other church communicators or other church leaders that are answering a specific question or sharing about something with their ministry. If you're curious of knowing our last montage video, you can click up here. In the last one, we had church communications leaders sharing their best habit for church communicators, so that's an excellent video to watch if you are in a church or work with communications. Either one of those, you will find some great benefit from these wonderful minds sharing their thoughts. Today's video is a little different. It is the end of 2020. And we already shared our celebrations from the end of 2020, another video if you want to check it out. But we thought, why not see what others are celebrating from various uses of social media? Now I have to say, we kind of asked people like late in the game. I mean, anytime in December I would say is late in the game when you're working in ministry and you're asking someone to do something. So a lot of folks either didn't get back to us or couldn't get it done in time. And we might even have a couple that send it in a little late, so we might make an addendum to this where we actually add on other responses in a separate video if you are interested. So you're gonna get 5 today, but there may be more coming, but at least you'll have 5 answers, which is awesome too. And again, the question we asked of them was, what impacts are you celebrating from 2020 in either your personal or your congregational, your community, social media use this past year? The first person I want to highlight is Reverend Jim Keat of Riverside Church, and he's a digital minister there, Riverside NYC on Twitter. And Jim's going to talk about a couple social media platforms, so hang on tight. Here's what Jim has to say about 2020. 2020 has been a year where our entire communities realized that the internet is an incredibly real way for our congregation and our wider and the world at large to connect and engage around our weekly worship service and social justice work. With our worship services being 100% online, it has become more and more natural to see engagement emerging beyond our Sunday morning YouTube premiere and virtual coffee hour on Zoom. On Twitter, we regularly post quotes from faith or justice leaders as well as questions for people to engage, some as simple as, "How can we pray for you today?" or "with you today?" We've seen these simple approaches to use social media as an engagement platform rather than a broadcast platform to lead to great conversations with congregants and people all over the world. We're also celebrating this tweet from the vice presidential debate in October because why not? And as you can see, the tweet that Riverside Church posted was, "The white privilege is like having a fly in your head. You can't see it, you barely feel it, but everyone else knows that it's there. Hashtag Flygate." So again, follow them at Riverside NYC if you are interested in hearing or learning more about how their church engages in Twitter or on other social media platforms. Thank you so much, Jim, digital minister. Love that. Thank you, Jim, for sharing. I also recommend that you check out Jim and the Riverside Church on YouTube, which I think I can link up here because they are rocking it and I love watching their videos. Very informative and a great way for church leaders to make use of YouTube. Great role models in that sphere as well. So thank you all. The next person and account that we want to highlight, actually a friend of mine, Kendall Berry, and I am going to talk about her church's Instagram platform, which is Linglestown Life. You can find them at Linglestown Life on Instagram. I love watching Kendall show up in stories and have her church show up in stories since she manages much of their social media. And they always offer awesome behind the scenes images and videos of whatever's going on in their community that day or that week. And it's just really engaging for anyone on the outside looking in to see, oh, this is what this church has got going on. These are the people that are there, and it gives people a chance to feel a little bit more comfortable before they even show up. So I asked Kendall if she would say something about her use of Instagram stories. Also, their feed is just awesome, so definitely check that out as well. This is what Kendall had to say about stories. She said, "We are celebrating that through Instagram stories, we were able to give a behind-the-scenes look at our Sunday service and other ministries. This year, we have been transitioning our social media to go beyond promotional posts and focus on engaging our community and providing helpful and inspirational content." Are we seeing a theme here between Jim's response and Kendall's response? Social media is not just broadcasting out what you're thinking and feeling or broadcasting out your advertisements of what's going on in your church, but it's also about engaging people where they are. Be church online. That's what we are all about here, and we're so glad these folks are all about it too. Definitely follow Kendall and Linglestown Life at Linglestown Life on Instagram. Next up is Reverend Lawrence Richardson, who is an author, pastor, executive coach, and media trainer, and we found him on Instagram at Larry2_O, and I'm not even sure how we got connected, but I love following along with his content and seeing his various posts. Obviously, he has a great deal of experience, a great deal of knowledge to share, and so I asked, can you share any impacts from 2020 with us? And this is what Pastor Reverend Lawrence had to say to us. 2020 has certainly been a year. Our society and individual communities were challenged to be creative with our use of social and digital media as an alternative to physical gatherings in an attempt to mitigate the spread of the coronavirus. As a pastor, I found it especially meaningful to use social and digital media platforms to nurture the relationships and faith formation within my congregation. We have babies all the way to folks in their 90s, and even before this year, we use social and digital media to stay connected. Now that the bulk of our ministry events and programs are online, it's rewarding to engage people on these platforms and still feel a sense of community and spiritual connectedness. It is my firm belief that social and digital media are vital tools for ministry today. Reverend Lawrence T. Richardson, lead pastor, Linden Hills United Church of Christ, which is Linden Hills UCC on Instagram, or again, at Larry2_O on Instagram. You can also check more about them out at ltrichardson.com and lhucc.org. Thank you, Reverend Lawrence, for being a model to folks along the way. I know my viewers will certainly take something from following your accounts as well. So, if you don't follow Reverend Lawrence or Linden Hills UCC, please do so. And awesome that all of our folks have said something about engaging people online. That is huge. That is what social media is about. This is where the people are, and so we must engage them right where they are. Next up is an account that we deeply love to follow here at DIGI, and I am also regretting not asking how to properly pronounce her last name. Joy Vetterlin, I'm gonna say, and hopefully I'm not butchering it, and my deepest apologies if I am, but Joy Vetterlin, pastor, writer, Christian misfit, unconventional spirituality for people who love Jesus but don't fit in at a church. Super cool. Highly recommend following Joy on Instagram if you are interested in, what we talked about in previous weeks, just like pushing different buttons of theology, asking yourself questions, getting deeper in with your faith. Joy has lots of awesome offerings on her Instagram account, but even just like scrolling her feed and her highlights, I think will be a gift to you as well. So definitely check her out. Joy says, my ministry is to people on the outskirts of Christianity who love Jesus but have struggled to connect with institutional church. They're easier to find online anyway. This is where they can be honest and not have all their socially acceptable masks on, and 2020 proved just how meaningful online community can be for those of us who struggle to connect in person, even when it's not a pandemic. As I've continued to find my people by naming their felt needs and offering paths forward to healing, I've been overwhelmed by the depth of one-on-one connections I've been able to make with the people I serve. 2020 has helped me shift my focus from seeing social media as a way to increase in numbers and followers to seeing it as a way to grow deeper in relationship and discipleship with the people I serve, which in turn helps me hone my understanding of what they need and how I can best serve them. That is beautiful. Thank you, Joy. I so love the concept that social media is not about a followers game, it's not a likes game. Even when we talk about using social media well, we can really mess it up by trying to, gauge engagement numbers and statistics. And really, I loved what Joy said about one-on-one deeper connections. This is what it's all about. And actually, the statistics about how people are using social media and where it's leaning really are pointing towards more DMs, more direct messaging, more one-on-one platform use in the future. It's already leaning that way. And so for church leaders and those serving people and wanting to care for people online, it's important to know that that might mean some one-on-one conversations, which maybe wasn't always in the cards in the past, but really really you should look into for the future. So thank you for putting that out, Joy. Thank you for just letting us highlight you, because we want others to know about your awesome ministry. And again, to find Joy on Instagram, JoyVetterlin, or joyvetterlin.com. And again, I might be saying that wrong. Check her out if you want to see more. Last but certainly not least, I want to tell you about Tracy and Joe Ensley. And I found Tracy and Joe when I was creating YouTube content first for DIGI, just starting out and wanting to get connected with others on YouTube. I talked about this a couple weeks ago when I told you about how we made a progressive Christian YouTube Facebook group, and that was kind of our response to seeing all these different Christian YouTuber Facebook groups. And there are a ton out there. I'm in a lot of them, and it's a great way to connect with others who are sharing on YouTube. It's a great way to share your content and get it out there, and also see other people's content and learn from all the tricks that they're doing on YouTube to make sure that their videos are the best they could possibly be. So, two things. First, the Progressive Christian YouTube Facebook group that I had linked just a few seconds ago, that is open, and it was just a space for us to connect with other progressive Christians. I know not everybody out there that is Christian is progressive Christian, totally fine. We just wanted a separate space where we could connect with more of those folks, since we weren't seeing a lot of them in other spaces. But that being said, of the many different Facebook groups for Christian YouTubers that I am in and I have been sharing content within, the groups where Tracy is a big part, either an admin or the owner of the group, I'm not even sure, maybe both, those are my favorite groups because they're so well run, and some of them even ask that you watch someone else's video and comment on it, like not even just comment on the video, but like post about their video and say, this is what I thought of this person's video, before you can even share about your own video. It's a way of trying to stir up community, stir up mutual support, so it's not just like a posting fest of people just like, here's my content, everybody please like it, I want to be famous. I've really felt like these groups are well run, there's a lot of support, and I'm starting to recognize names as people really just support one another in there. Anyway, I say all this to let you know and really to talk Tracy up, because I think what she does in these Facebook groups is really inspiring, and that we can really learn a lot as church leaders about how good Facebook groups can be run from seeing how Tracy leads her groups. And before I share what Tracy has to say, I do want to tell you that Tracy's husband, Joe, is on YouTube, and I believe they're getting close to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, which is like a big milestone for a lot of YouTubers. So if you are interested in subscribing and supporting Tracy and her work, but also her husband, Joe's work, who is a pastor and does post videos on YouTube, I recommend searching Joe Ensley, Joe, J-O-E, Ensley, E-N-S-L-E-Y on YouTube. Definitely check him out, support them there, and let's see what Tracy has to say.
I've been an active admin for a group of Christian YouTubers over the last just about a year almost, and it has made a huge impact. I think that it has really been a ministry of encouragement, and I have enjoyed encouraging other Christian YouTubers, and I think we should let them speak for themselves.
And so hopefully at this point you can see some of the comments from the Christian YouTubers in this group that Tracy has shared with us. Here are a few, I'll read them. I have to say I haven't found a group as genuine. You can feel the difference. Kudos and thanks. By watching each one's video, I felt like I also in a way get to know each and every one. I enjoyed being in this group. Now my newsfeed in YouTube is full of good content, and I can feel the care. This group is so uplifting and encouraging. This group is legit and awesome. I truly consider this group like close friends. Y'all are so welcoming and talented. I don't consider this a group but a ministry. I love this group because it's unlike any other group. This is where I get encouragement, support, respect, and drive to keep going. So So thank you, Tracy, for doing what you do and making a space online for like-minded folks to share, support one another, and grow together. I think it's beautiful, and I think it can teach us and it can teach church leaders a lot about perhaps what it could be to have a church Facebook group for your community, or maybe like a wider community where a couple churches are together, or maybe it's your denomination. Whatever it is, you can definitely learn a lot from Tracy, and I recommend you checking out her husband Joe Ensley on YouTube. And we're so thrilled that you're celebrating wins in 2020. This year has certainly been a lot for us all, but I hope that you are able to find a few wins, a few ways that you impacted others and that others impacted you amidst it all. Maybe learn from this and grow from this, and may 2021 be brighter and lighter for all of us. If this video was interesting to you and you're still watching, I recommend you subscribe below if you have not yet, and perhaps turn on the bell so you don't miss a single video that we upload, as we try to help other church leaders reach people with the love of Jesus online. We'll be back again next week. I pray in the meantime you're able to soak in a little bit of that newness, a little bit of that renewal, refreshment. And today, I didn't bring any knowledge, but a lot of awesome folks did, so I hope that you're able to put some of it into action in what you do. Thanks, peace, and Happy New Year.